You've probably seen people saying that Etsy is oversaturated or that AI is taking over the platform. And I've heard it too, but here's the truth. I've done over $200,000 in revenue in just this year alone. And the crazy thing is, I started my shop back in January of 2024. I had zero previous experience with anything to do with print on demand. I was just willing to learn and to work hard. So this just goes to show that Etsy is literally more powerful than ever if you play it smart. So let me show you why. So first off, what's actually changed in 2025? Well, first off, there's more competition than there ever has been for print-on-demand sellers. So this in turn means that we need to utilize smarter strategies to succeed. AI has helped bad sellers spam the platform, but also given us serious sellers an edge. And this is just a real time saver, because if we utilize things like ChatGPT, Canva, and other AI tools, then we can save time and ultimately make our customers more satisfied because we can ship the products faster, and also they are a lot of the time higher quality as well. The numbers are not like 2020 or 2021 because of the pandemic, obviously, but there are still over 88.5 million active buyers on the platform. So let that sink in. There are 88 million buyers on the platform ready to buy products for themselves or for that special someone. Etsy ads have become a key to success, and in my opinion, every successful Etsy seller should be using Etsy ads. They should be mastering the tools they're given, and this is what helps you stand out from the people that are not willing to utilize Etsy ads. Product choice is more important than it ever has been. And the reason for that, and this kind of ties back into that with the more competition, but we need to choose proper products that are profitable as well as that stand out from the crowd, right? So we can stand out from the crowd both in our designs and our product choice. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some successful shops to go ahead and just prove that it really is possible in 2025. So I've got 3 shops to show you guys. First off, we have this shop here. They are selling sweatshirts mainly. And the crazy thing is, this shop is selling products that are very high competition, right? Lots of people sell sweatshirts. However, they started in 2024 and almost have 19,000 sales already. And if we just use Everbee to analyze their shop, we can see that their estimated total revenue is over $1 million. And they actually have been on Etsy since April of 2024. So that's just over a year. Let that sink in. In just over a year, they have done over $1 million in revenue, which is insane. And in my experience, this number is usually a little bit low on Everbee. So that is just crazy. The next shop I have to show you here is this one here, Timber Symphony. They sell cutting boards. The cool thing about nowadays with print on demand is we have access to these types of products. Now you might not be able to find this exact cutting board, but with print providers like Printify, as well as T-Launch, I know sells cutting boards, we can get creative and start selling keyboards ourselves as well. Let's scroll down. As you can see, they've done over 14,000 sales, started in 2024. Let's analyze this shop as well. They've done over 900,000 in revenue, and they've also been on Etsy since April of 2024. Crazy stuff. So let's look at the last shop. All right, here we go. Now this shop makes or sells jewelry. Jewelry we have access to with print on demand as well. Printify has jewelry. There's one supplier I know of that's called Own Print. They do jewelry. You also have Shine On. They do jewelry. So learn to think a little bit outside the box. But here you can see jewelry. They just sell mostly necklaces, it looks like. They have over 14,000 sales started in 2024 as well. Analyze their shop. And they've done over $1.2 million in revenue in less than a year. They started in July of 2024 as of this date, this is June 2025. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Look at their monthly revenue, over 159,000. That is just insane. So let that sink in. Let that motivate you. This just goes to show that it is possible in 2025, for sure. So what actually fails in 2025? Why do some people fail? Well, first off, if you're looking at listings that sell well and are just copying them, then you are doomed to fail. It is not going to succeed, no matter how many of these you do. If you're copying successful listings, then it's already too late. You missed out on the fun, basically. And the reason for that is that it takes time for the listings to actually start to sell on Etsy. And if you're coming in and copying, then I can guarantee you that 100 other Etsy sellers have done the same thing. And if you look at it, most of the time it's the one listing, and it's the listing that came first that sell well, or it's a listing that came in, got inspired, and added value to a new listing. Yeah, and that ties into this point here, not adding value to your listings, right? Value is key. Don't just put out the same junk that everybody else is putting out. You need to actually add value to it. So if it's in the form of group listings or personalization or extra colors or whatever it is, right? Add value so that you stand out from the market and give your customer the best product possible. Not optimizing every single listing, right? You need to optimize every listing. Otherwise, you're going to not be visible in search. And if you are visible in search, then maybe you won't be converting your customer with a healthy conversion rate, right? And maybe you're just wasting money on Etsy ads. Not utilizing Etsy ads, like we touched on. Like I touched on as well, Etsy ads are a must in 2025. You need to utilize them. Not choosing unique products to sell with high profit margins. Another thing that leads to failure. You need unique products, and you need to have products with a high perceived value so that you can sell them at a healthy price and make a decent profit. And the reason for that is we need to utilize Etsy ads, right? So all this is tied together. So if we have a healthy profit margin, then we can utilize the tools like Etsy ads without losing money, and we can still maintain that profitability. Not utilizing personalized products, right? This is a perfect way to add value to the marketplace. Personalized products, in my experience, sell amazingly on Etsy. Just think about it. Etsy is a platform in where people come to buy gifts for other people or buy memorable things for themselves so they can maybe remember a special occasion or a special date or birthday or whatever it is. So just a quick story about when I got started. I actually started out selling candles on Etsy, and I was completely new, so I had no idea, but candles, I figured out through trial and error, were not profitable, right? They just didn't have a healthy margin. I just couldn't sustain them. And I was running Etsy ads to them and I was losing money. And even though I was getting quite a few sales, and it ultimately did help my shop because I got quite a few reviews to start out with, it just wasn't a sustainable product, so I had to go away from that. But this just goes to show how important pricing your products is and how important it is to have products with a high perceived value. So what does it actually take to succeed? Well, first off, you obviously need to be willing to work hard. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, although you can make good money in a short time, like we saw with those shops that I showed you. In about a year's time, they're doing over $1 million in revenue. Keep in mind, this is not profit, but a normal, healthy profit margin for print on demand is around that 20% mark. So let that sink in a little bit, 20 to 30%, you're making good money. That could replace your full-time job. You need to post consistent listings and continue to improve. This is key. And the reason we post consistent listings is, first off, we want our shop to gain momentum and get that snowball rolling, right? The more you post, actually, let me rephrase that. Not the more you post, but if you post consistently and with high quality listings and constantly strive to improve your listings, then that is when you will succeed. Utilize unique products, personalization, and Etsy ads. And we already have touched on this, so I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but this is just insanely important in 2025 so you can stand out from your competitors. Also, you need to have a clear strategy that you follow, right? Don't follow too many influencers and follow their strategies. Pick one and go with that and work with that and stick to it. With that being said, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about me and how you can potentially work with me and how I can help you, I'll have a video linked below in the description that you can go ahead and check out. And if you qualify, then you can also book a call with me to find out a little bit more. So let's summarize this. With the right strategy like product selection, branding, and SEO, you can still break through and thrive on Etsy. And like I have done, I started in 2024, and like those other shops that I showed you, it is completely doable. And if you want help, check the video in the description and see if you qualify to book a call with me. So with that being said, guys, I will see you all in the next video.